Good morning, everyone. I'm Urmila Chanam, founder of Breaking the Silence Worldwide Foundation. Every year, 8th of March is International Women's Day, a day to celebrate women, their achievements, but most of all, the bridges they have crossed in their journey. To every woman, irrespective of where you live, I salute you today. You are awesome. The theme of Women's Day 2021 is Women in Leadership, Achieving an Equal Future in COVID-19 World. This is extremely relevant in terms of women issues and challenges and barriers that women face around the world. We see that women's leadership is really lagging. Let us say even in terms of COVID, when the pandemic started, were women's interests, were the problems that women and children faced during the pandemic, their barriers in achieving, in going for testing, in going for treatment, even in the loss of jobs that women faced, the livelihood challenges they faced, the violence which increased during the pandemic times, the extreme burden of domestic work which increased at home for women during the COVID. So all these barriers, were they considered by the government when they planned the vaccination, when they planned the testing, when they planned treatment and prevention, when they planned how to organize economic boost up activities? Were women barriers, were women challenges really taken into consideration? And we come to the vacuum that we have seen of women leadership. Therefore, now is the time for women to demand and to demand that we be brought on board when policies are being drafted, when discussions are being held, when things are being planned. It is time that women also be involved in the process. Now, where do we stand when it comes to women's leadership in India? When Kamala Harris was appointed as the Vice President of America, many people in India rejoiced that America has only got their Vice President now, whereas India had its Prime Minister way back, women Prime Minister way back in 80s, thereby indicating and suggesting that the condition of women empowerment in India is much better. While it is true that we had Indira Gandhi as a Prime Minister and we have several ministers in relevant portfolios in the government of India, what is the status of women's leadership in India? The status of women's leadership in India is really poor. And when we are talking about that, we are not talking about political representation, but we are talking about women in every sphere and the number of women who really matter. So I will take you to the statistics. What does the statistics say? And this is not what I say. This is what the statistics say. Less than 1/4 of women are working in India, which means 3/4 of India's women are not working, are not part of the labor force, do not contribute to the economy. A woman who is not working, what is the level of leadership that she contributes as a nation and to the community? The answer is something that we all know. So we always need to remember that the total number of women who contribute to the labor force is just 19.9. That is less than 1/4. This is an area that we need to increase if we talk about women's leadership. We cannot just be complacent and be content with a lady Prime Minister of the 80s. We have to stop living in denial and look at what data speaks. We have to increase the number of women who are working, because when women are working, when women are in the labor force, they are financially independent. When they're financially independent, they can support their loved ones, their family. Most of all, they can look after themselves and take decisions on their own, independent decisions on their own. The second data which glares us is women's leadership at CEO, director level, at leadership level is less than 5%. In CEOs, in 500 top Fortune companies, it's 5% is women. In other companies, it's 3.5. Anyway, in leadership positions and director positions, women hold only 5% of these spaces. So which leadership are we talking about? Which bubble are we living in, thinking that women in India are doing really well? The most eye-opening data that should make us wake up from our sleep is, as per the World Economic Forum, the Gender Gap Index of India. According to the Gender Gap Index of India, India stands at 112th position in the world out of 153 countries which have been surveyed. There are countries like New Zealand, like Spain, like Iceland, which are really doing well in terms of women's leadership and the gender gap. But back in India, we are doing really poor. In fact, countries like Bangladesh and Sri Lanka and Pakistan in some other indicators are doing better than India. And here in India, we take pride that women in India are doing really well. So when you see the news of women achievers, when today being Women's Day on the social media, on newspapers and televisions, you will see a splash of women achievers. Please remember, the women that you're seeing is representing the less than 1/4 of the women, and the remaining 3/4 of women are out of the antenna of women's leadership. The second thing we need to look at is how even in politics, only 14.4% elected women are there in India's parliament, which is really poor. So women's leadership is really lagging, and we have to come out of our denial mode. When we accept the truth, we will start working on it. So how do we build women's leadership? Do we wait for the government to come to us, invite me, invite you to come to the podium and be a woman leader? Are we ready to be leaders? Do we have the quality to be a leader, that people will listen to us, that people will find value in what we share and the kind of perspectives we have? Do we really build them in any way? This is a question that women need to ask before we want or we demand for women's space and women's leadership. We have to work on ourselves before the tiara is given to us. Women's leadership can be built by being aware of women issues. That is the first and foremost thing. If you're doing well, if you are economically independent, if your husband is good, if your family is good, you have no problems, and you're living your life very well, all the well, that's really good for you. I'm really happy for you. But are you aware of women issues, women who are less privileged? Are you aware of your responsibility towards women? And when I say responsibility, it means it is your privilege, because you have you have overcome certain barriers, and you are an exemplary lesson and an inspiration for women, just by sharing your journey, just by sharing your skills, just by sharing your advices. You are in a position to uplift many women. Are you exercising that? I find that women are not aware of women issues, especially the ones who are doing well. I also feel they live in another world where they feel that they do not have to help anybody. I'll give you a very simple scenario, not going into data and scientific discussions, something that we all will relate to in our homes. A woman who's doing very well also has got interface with women who are not doing well on a regular basis in our society. Our maids come to our house, and women sometimes make life hell for them. These maids may not do work that well as we expect. They may not come on time. They may not be able to commit. Sometimes they take loan and don't return. Sometimes we just don't like the way they behave. But educated women, rich women, women who have resources, when these maids come to them, because these rich women, powerful women, are not aware of women issues, they just handle these vulnerable women carelessly, scold them, reprimand them, take away benefits from them, cut money from them. I'm not saying you're wrong, but this is an opportunity for you to do something for women who are vulnerable. If women are aware of women issues, we can't comprehend the barriers that this domestic help must be going through. She must be having an alcoholic husband. She might be having abusive in-laws. She might be living in a colony where women who go out to work are looked down upon. She might be coming from an environment and culture where she is made to feel guilty for leaving back her toddler behind in terms of work. She might be carrying so many domestic burdens at home just to be able to come out and do work. So this woman already has a lot of things going on in her life, a lot of barriers and challenges. When she comes to your house, that is the opportunity for you to give her relief and rehabilitation. I'm not saying you compromise on the kind of work that your domestic help will do for you. It is very important to set good standards, but when it comes to giving her remuneration, when it comes in terms of forgiving her when she cannot come, in giving her advice, in giving her linkage to bank, opening a bank account for her, giving her child's clothes and food when you can, maybe giving her an annual bonus, maybe linking her to government schemes which can give her some kind of relief. That is the kind of opportunity that women can exercise without going out of the way to make life better for other vulnerable women. Now, this was just one example that I was citing about the opportunity for every woman to help another woman. Like that, you can use your social position, you can use your professional position, you can use your resources to make life better for other women. That is the first step to build women's leadership. The second thing is, women will not be given a quota or a reservation for leadership. Even if there is a quota, it is not being filled. Why is that? Because there are many barriers to women's leadership. So women have to work on ourselves. We have to work on ourselves to brush shoulders with our counterparts, people of all genders. And that we can do by being aware of what is happening around us in our environment, economic, political, social innovations, everything, sports, entertainment. We have to work on ourselves so that we can become equal partners in this society, and we can give solutions and perspective and opinions on every matter. And when we can do that, we will become at par with everyone, and those quotas and reservations and those spaces which are made for us as per the policy may be filled. But we are not working on us. We are just complacent and happy with how we are. We are just happy in our kitchens. We're just happy in our jobs. We're just happy with little shopping, little vacation. We have to push ourselves beyond our comfort zones to come to a level of leadership. Like I told you, before the tiara is given to you, ask yourself if you're really worthy of that tiara and prepare yourself for that leadership role. The third thing that you can do to build your leadership is to start building your network. This network can be of men, women, every gender, every age group. This can be, this network is beyond your family circle and relatives. And in this network, you can help each other and ensure that you are of some help to women in need. The fourth thing and the most important thing for you to exercise your leadership is to have an opinion. You need to have an opinion. You need to practice to have an opinion. You know, when we pick up a newspaper, we actually read the opinion of the writer, the journalist or columnist, or the politician whose speech has been covered on the newspaper. When we look at TV, we are looking at the opinion of the anchor, of the news channel. That is not absolute truth. But what about your opinion? Where is your opinion? Do you have an opinion? Do you exercise your opinion? Do you share your opinion with your children? Do you share your opinion with your husband, your in-laws, your brother, your sister, your village? Do you express your opinion on Facebook? Do you express your opinion in your network? Having an opinion is very important. When you have an opinion, don't worry how many people will listen to you. If it will make sense to you, will they follow? Trust me, more people are listening to you than you're aware of. More people are following you than you'll ever know. People don't always come back to you and say that I liked what you said. It made sense to me because I'm going through that. Trust me, 10 to 20 minutes before we sleep, each person removes their social mask from their face and keeps it aside, the mask that we show to people. And each one of us is faces our conscience, our spiritual self, the things that we liked and which really touched our soul. We ponder about that. And that is the time, I tell you, my friends, your opinion is going to be a matter of consideration and reflection for someone. And social media gives you that platform. You don't need an editor. You don't need anyone to invite you to an event. You don't need to have a designation as a leader. All you need to do is start your Facebook Live that I've started today and speak about your opinion. When women exercise their opinion, starting point on Facebook, if you write, you write. If you're an artist, you do artist. If you have a group of women, irrespective of which forum, when you start exercising your opinion gradually, very gradually, you will reach a phase where you will feel that your opinion needs to be connected to authorities, to the government, to people in position who can change and uplift women. And organically, you will reach a phase where you will have the confidence to approach to different medium and you will say that I'm not happy with how the government of India, our district or our state planned COVID relief and response without consultation of women. When in fact there are so many women professors and intellectuals, where there are so many women artists and women grassroots leaders, there are so many writers, but the Chief Minister did not invite us and ask us, how do you want your relief material to be distributed? Will you be in a position to come to take vaccination? Because men decided that everybody can come for the vaccination. They forgot that women have a lot of domestic work because children are not going to school and college, everybody is at home. So they have everyone at home 24/7, and women are the only one who look after their laundry, their food, the house cleanliness, and every little thing. I wish you all the best in this journey. I hope Women's Day 2021 is a clarion call to all women to start exercising your leadership by using your opinion, by exercising your opinion, by being confident, by self-care and looking the best version of you, by not worrying about the world mocking you, by supporting other women, by being aware of women issues around the world, not just your district, not just your state, not just your country, but globally. The reason why you need to know women issues globally is because your support may not necessarily come from district, may come from other women from Assam. So if you expect women from outside of your community to help you, you need to be aware of the issues that they have so that you can also help them. And most of all, by being an equal partner in the society, by being aware of your environment and social issues and challenges of the society, so that you as a woman can have an opinion on that as well. When you practice all these issues, the 19.9% of India's women who are working, less than 1/4 who are working in India, the 14.4% of women elected representatives in the parliament, the less than 5% CEOs in India's Fortune 500 companies will increase. And most of all, women will be confident and beautiful and really and equal in this world. Wishing all my sisters a happy Women's Day. Take your tiara. Your tiara is waiting for you.